Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to the 5-7 podcast. It is I, Mike Salinas, joined once again by the man you know as Michael Prieto.
What's going on, guys?
Nothing much. Just another beautiful week here in the North Midwest area, Chicagoland, if you will.
It's a nice place to be, even when it's cold, man. I mean, you get that, appreciation for the warmer weather.
Yeah, but you got those friends, those assholes in other states that are in the West Coast, and they say, "Oh, yeah, I had to wear some galoshes this week, or I had to wear some slippers, or I had to wear some sweats. It was 72."
I saw a kid today, and no kidding, it was about 25 degrees today. I saw a kid in a hoodie and shorts, man.
My man, I love that.
That's nuts.
I love seeing that stuff.
Hopefully, you made it home.
Like I was telling people, man, I gave up wearing coats for about 10 years of my life. I just wanted to test my body. And you remember me when I was getting sick once every month, I think it was. And then I started testing my limits. And then I got to getting sick once every 3 years, roughly. 2-3 years. And now it's kind of where I'm at. And right now I have a case of the sniffles, which bottles of tequila have not helped as much as I would have hoped. But I'm going to keep trying.
It's one of those things, dude. Who knows? It could be your immune system. Pushing yourself always helps, I guess. But, and then you don't know who's carrying what around,
Sure, man. So a couple of things I want to touch on today. One interesting thing this past weekend that I was checking out was the AAF, which is the football league that goes on when the NFL is not going on. It just started this year. It's kind of interesting, though. So I was watching it, and they have some of the players that got cut, possibly, or were on a team at some point in time, didn't make the roster of the NFL. So they're like one step below the NFL. It was on CBS. And what's interesting is that they're coming out with the XFL next year, which is WWE or Vince McMahon's faction. So they're going to have two separate football leagues outside of the NFL starting next year. What's also even more interesting that I recall is that the NFL players agreement, well, the agreement with the players is up in 2021. And they've already strategically planned out contracts to end, I think, in 2021 in a lot of cases. So they're already expecting a strike to happen in some play stoppage from the NFL. So I'm over here thinking that maybe they have this AAF in place and the XFL for when the players do strike, they're going to just bring these scabs over to play in the NFL.
You mean in the AAF? Oh, you mean the NFL is going to cannibalize from the AAF?
Yes.
And bring them over?
Yes.
Wow.
I mean, it makes sense, right?
What a shitty
They're starting
league.
this up a couple years in advance just so they're going to get their players, these guys up to speed.
Wow.
And then bring them all over.
Man, that'd be pretty dirty.
It is, but it's like, I think the writing's on the wall.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
I just found that interesting.
Yeah, and go figure, man. It's like, a lot of other leagues, they have that, like, hey, I'm not going to play. You're not going to have the best product on the field. The NFL is like, well, we really don't care if we have the best product. We just want to have something out there for people to watch. And when it comes to football, I mean, just as long as guys are running around and hitting each other, that's all that people really care about.
Yeah, I think it's too much football.
Yeah.
Football, being that it has a breaks are good.
Yeah, they are.
Off seasons are great. I mean, Jesus, the MLB is 9 months long, or whatever it is, 8 months long. It's
Way
just
too long. Way too long.
From April to November in a lot of cases. Just too long of a season, man. I don't want to see games that long.
I'm excited for baseball, like right now. I think that it's obviously because it's been cold and what have you, and it's it's exciting because it means spring is coming and it's going to be an exciting time, because we're getting ready for the warm weather. But when it's like September, I'm like, okay, like football has already been going on for weeks, and October hits. It's like I am completely out of baseball mode, and I'm ready for. I'm in 100% in football mode, and hockey is starting, so, and then there's baseball going on top of that.
Yeah, no, definitely. And speaking of MLB, we can't go too far in MLB without talking about the champions being Boston Red Sox. And speaking of the Boston Red Sox, another dovetail here. I was doing some searching earlier today and I came across 12 slang phrases Boston gave the rest of America. This was I just could not pass this up, and I could not pass up sharing this with our listeners on right from the Matador Network. If you guys have not heard of them, you are not alone. Okay, so here we go. I'm just going to go backwards.
I'm really excited for this.
All right, number 12, the hub.
The
I don't know
hub?
what that is. The hub.
The hub.
Never Beantown.
So we have to say this. We have to say these in a Boston accent, right?
The hub. Sorry, the hub. The hub. So I guess that's the hub of the solar system, kind of what they call Boston. Okay, well, whatever.
Next.
Oh, here we go.
Next.
Number 11, the Ripper.
The Ripper.
Ripper. Fucking Ripper. Hey, we had a great party last night. It's a Ripper. You know, a kegger, a huge party. It's a Ripper. Ripper, kegger. Number 10, so don't I. Another semi-nonsensical phrase. This means me too. What?
I never say it.
Yeah, I don't know. Number 9, no sir.
Next.
Like, yes sir, no sir. I don't know. Number 8, one of my favorites, Badados. No, Badados. No, your friend didn't just have a stroke. Badados means potatoes in Boston speak. I take one of those Cornish hens with some Barbados. It's got to be that, right?
I guess.
I go to the Boston market to get some Boston market, you know. Go to the market for some Boston market and some Barbados. Probably should have read these first before I talked about them, so I can have some like background on what I'm saying.
Next,
number 7 is spa.
Spa.
Now, get supper at the town. Get supper at the town spa. The town spa means like pizza or a convenience store of some sort. So like, hey, I'm gonna go to the spa over here and pick up some Mentos and some some Juji foods. I don't know what the hell they eat over there in Boston.
Couple burgers.
Number 6 is Dunkies.
Dunkies.
Just go and get some Dunkin' Donuts. Is called Dunkies. Dunkies.
There you go. Boston started it, man. It started as Dunkin' Donuts. They had Dunkies, and they were like, you know what? If they're calling it Dunkies over here, the rest of the country will call it Dunkin'.
Number 5 is down the Cape. You can go up the Cape, but down the Cape is, I guess, referring to Cape Cod.
Cape Cod.
Cape Cod. People like to hang out. You can find a good ripper down the Cape.
You have a wicked time at the Cape Cod.
Pick up some donkeys before you have a wicked time going down the Cape. Hit up one of them spas at the market. Pick up a couple some Barbados on it. Badados, whatever. Oh, this is Boston Beatdown. I feel bad for those 8 viewers that we have right now in Boston, or 8 listeners. Of course, this is one of my favorites. Number 4, parlor. It's actually referring to a living room of a house. I didn't know that. I thought it was really like a parlor, like a bar or something. I don't know.
The parlor.
Can you imagine your wife saying, "Mike, come over here and get these dirty clothes"? Like, I'm busy over here watching a game in the parlor. I mean, what do you?
I'm watching a boxing match in the parlor.
I'm having a hard time reading the descriptions. Like, I don't even understand the logic of them and why they are what they are. Well, number 3 is called bang. Like a bang you eye up, eh? And use your blinker.
Use your blinker, you fucker.
That means to turn.
Really? To
bang a Yui.
Oh, bang a Yui. Yeah.
Bang a Yui. Bang a Yui here. Use your blinker.
Use your blinker, you fucker.
Use your blinker. Get me back to the parlor. Oh my goodness. I don't know if I can. I've got to read through this one so I don't completely mutilate it, which it already is mutilated English as is. Skis a tool get. Number 2, by the way, skis a tool get. Bostonians have created a myriad of insulting words for their friends. These ones roughly mean drug addict, asshole, and idiot.
D-
a totally idiot. Wow.
Next.
And this is the last one. Number 1, when I told you off the air. A wicked pisser.
A wicked pisser.
Your new car is a wicked pisser. It means you've got a sweet ride that we can go to the Boston Market to get some Boston Market, of course. Some Badados. Badados, man, and some Boston Market for some donkeys.
I wonder how much these guys make an hour writing the stuff.
Yeah, I didn't know some of those things, obviously. I just see them in movies. But for all you out there that are curious about some Boston accents and what they mean,
it's the best
there
one.
You go.
It's the best one. The Boston accent and the what are they called? Like those hooligans in the UK, in like London, those guys who are running around like those soccer fans, like those hooligan gangs that fight each other. Man, those guys are funny too. You should hear those guys talk.
No way.
Yeah, man.
They talk about the babla. Hey, I'm gonna get me some of that babla, like which is a drink at the water fountain.
No, man. They say all kinds of crazy shit. I next time I'll look it up. We'll do that next. We'll do the freaking UK. It's wankas.
People give me a hard time because I have an issue, and people make fun of me when I go to Mexican restaurants, and I'll be talking fine. I'm like, yeah. I'll tell you what, those spreadsheets and those numbers just look completely off. I just couldn't imagine. Then the lady comes out, hello, what would you like to order? I'm like, give me a chimichanga con Suiza y arroz con pollo y tacos de maíz, por favor. They're like, hey, pal, slow it down. Slow it down.
It's okay. You're welcome in our country. It's okay to speak your language.
Yeah, so people when I go out to eat with people that don't hear me talk like that, they give me some shit about it. They're like, you were just talking normal 2 seconds ago. Why can't you just say it normally?
It's like because that's how you talk. Because that's how you speak Spanish. That's why.
Yeah.
Because that's how it's pronounced.
Give me. By the way, can you put that on the brown taco bread if you can?
Please.
Thank you.
That'd be great.
Much appreciated.
Gracias.
Grassy ass lady.
Hola.
Shake that ass, lady.
Hola, thank you. Can I get one of those Doritos?
Yes. Oh man, I remember Taco Bell had a pizza for a second there.
Did they?
Yeah, man.
I never eat Taco Bell.
I've never tried it in my life.
That stuff is shit, dude. Actually, yeah, I have had Taco Bell. It was horrible.
Never tried it.
My wife came home. There was she got some Taco Bell nachos or some shit.
How were they?
I was like, "What is this garbage?" I didn't have any. She scarfed them down. It was probably on one of her nights on her way home from Bunko or something.
Hey, what about me? Oh man, anything newsworthy in your galaxy over there?
Dude, I haven't even been watching the news. I know I think the NHL trade deadline's coming up. There haven't really been too many big moves. What else is there, dude? Basketball. Apparently the Lakers completely fumbled the Anthony Davis thing.
That was great.
Yeah, that's funny.
Well,
so
I don't know if they fumbled it. It's more or less that they didn't want to give up Anthony Davis for 8 players.
Yeah, and I don't blame them. And like three first-round draft picks.
Yeah, they probably should have taken that trade, but hindsight's 2020. The new Walking Dead seems to be on. My wife was watching that yesterday. I don't follow it, so I don't know much about it, but the guys look like they're still walking and they're still dead.
Dude, I haven't watched it in a few seasons. Obviously, we used to keep up on it, but we haven't been doing that. I think it was during the main Negan season when he killed a few people and everybody was up in arms. Yeah, that was the last time that we were watching it. But yeah, it's been a while.
That was great.
I'm watching True Detective right now.
Did you see this? How they were sentencing El Chapo? I just seen a picture of his wife was laughing at his mistress on the stand crying.
Oh, really?
I was like, wait, who's laughing at who here? El Chapo found guilty on all 10 charges. I hope he serves the rest of life in jail. If they'd stop letting his ass out, man, Jesus.
He escaped a few times.
He's like, hey, buddy, I got something for you. I got a tortilla. He's like, what? Some taco bread, damn it. He's like, all right, let me out. You know?
I got a torta.
With the works. You got the number 3 for Rancho Grande? Si.
Sí. With 3 limones. Oh my gosh, I can't believe we could just make light of El Chapo like that. I mean, we're talking about a guy responsible for who knows how many deaths, ruining all of these lives, and we're laughing at this fucking guy. We'll keep the cartels and all that stuff for another podcast. Oh man, can you believe it, dude? Boston's won another championship.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah. They're lucky they didn't play the Bears. I swear, man, the Eagles had some kind of luck going into the freaking playoffs, dude. They shouldn't have even been in there. Can you believe the wild card was a team that was 12-4 playing a team that was 9-7?
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
That's unbelievable.
Well, I remember the Seattle Seahawks did the same thing when they got to the Pro Bowl or the Super Bowl when they were 8-8.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they won the division at 8-8.
That weak ass division, dude.
Yeah, they were like, "Hey, man, how?" Because their division was crap, they shouldn't be even in the playoffs. And then they made it to the Super Bowl. That might have been the year they lost.
What year was that?
That might have been the year they didn't give the handoff to
Marshawn.
To Marshawn. Whatever year that was against the Patriots, I assume, because the Patriots had been in the Super Bowl like past 7 out of 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah, and whatchamacallit, man, it was one year the Bears, they didn't make the playoffs and they were 10-6.
Yeah, man. That happens more often than worse teams getting in, I think.
Yeah. That's weird.
Yeah, man.
Especially the AFC South. The NFC South is pretty weak.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
That's why I never really
hold on. Did you say the AFC South or the NFC South?
NFC South.
Oh. I don't know, man, not anymore.
Well, they got whatchamacallit, the Saints.
Saints. Seems like San Francisco might turn a direction this year. They got Tampa Bay down there, which always looks good, but Jameis Winston decides to eat W's. Doesn't show up. And there's got to be another team or two down there, but I don't know.
Probably because he's going through withdrawal.
Right. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe they do suck. Maybe it does suck down there in NFC South. What am I talking about? How about Joe Flacco, though?
Didn't he get traded?
Yeah, he's going to Denver.
Oh, God. You're really going to sleep during those Denver games now.
He got traded for like a box of Badados. Well, they're not releasing any details yet because I don't think it can officially happen. What's funny is that they paid Case Keenum to be their quarterback last season. And obviously that experiment has been a failure. But I believe they're still on the hook for another year with him. And he's obviously sucked. And this is another sucky quarterback as well. John Elway, man, he's not ever since Peyton Manning, he really has not gotten it right.
I'm surprised he still has a job.
Yeah, maybe not for long.
I get it that he was like the Denver icon, and I don't know if they're trying to pay him back for, all that kind of stuff, but I would have fired him already. I would have fired him after the Case Keenum deal.
Yeah, that's pretty much, that's definitely a fireable offense. You want to pay that jabroni. And I mean jabroni.
It's just, I don't know, dude. I don't even like talking about Denver. I'm getting sleepy already.
Yeah, I know. It's everything around that area of the world is kind of makes you fall asleep. What's worse about it is I don't even know exactly where that's at. My geography has got to be the worst. I failed geography 3 times.
Denver is located in Colorado.
Yeah, there it is. I knew it was Colorado. I just don't know where Colorado is.
They were the first state to pass medicinal marijuana laws, and I believe recreational marijuana laws.
Well, that makes perfect sense.
You may have to look that up, but I'm pretty sure they are.
That sounds about right, man.
On an interesting note, I've heard that from a guy who lives there. He said that after they passed, the marijuana laws, that people were there's like some towns got a little grungy apparently because there's a lot of people smoking weed now. So there's a lot of people out there that aren't wanting to, work.
Well, surprise, surprise, pal.
Yeah. So if you really think about it, that might increase jobs in a way.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man, I guess kind of slow day, I guess, for us here.
Yeah, this is 2 in a row. There's nothing going on.
There's nothing happening in this forsaken planet.
Nothing going on, man. Other than it rained ice for the second time in 2 weeks. Remember our last podcast? I was like, how often does it rain ice? I shouldn't have freaking said that because it's rained ice like 3 times since then.
You're like, do you know they're counting accumulation in ice rain? I was like, no, I didn't know that. And now it's becoming a trending thing. Like, yeah, ice rain all throughout the year. What the fuck? It's going to go up there with wind chill. It's going to be a new thing to talk about. What's the temperature? It's going to be 14. What about the wind chill, though? Like everyone asks, like when it says like snow, like, well, how much of that is going to be ice?
I don't really get worried about the weather until we start getting around like maybe like the 11 degrees and under range. Usually like around there, I'm like, whatever, it's whatever. It's winter,
Right.
Whatever. It's going to snow. It's going to be cold. But when it starts getting to that 11, 5, then I start looking at the wind chill and that kind of stuff.
Right. You know what, man? I think it's the opposite for me. I get more worried about the super hot. When I see something that says over 100 degrees, I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm not going outside.
I do the same with the heat too. When the heat gets to about, I would probably say like 93, 94 and up. Mm-hmm. That's when I'm like, I wouldn't say I don't. I always take my hydration seriously, but I make sure that the night before I'm like, I know that I'm gonna hydrate properly because it takes the body 12 hours to properly hydrate itself.
So the night before, you're just loading up on drinks and Infamil and snacks and shit, soup.
No, soup's only for the winter.
You're eating fucking soup.
You fucking townie.
You eating a plate of Badados just to get yourself all ready. You're preparing your body for intense heat of 92 degrees.
Well, dude, at Indy, man, we go out there, 93 degrees. You see people just freaking passing out right in front of us.
Yeah, I carried a lady into the whatever the cool station last year. She was face down in the grass. I was completely drunk. I rolled her over. I threw this guy out my way, and I'm getting ready to do necessary mouth to mouth. Figure it out. I mean, I couldn't even put my mouth on a beer bottle. I was so jacked up, but I was ready to do it, man. I was going to give it a shot, man. Someone's got to save her. She was just laying there, and everyone was just laughing at her. I'm like, guys, this isn't funny. And
shit.
Good thing she actually came to once I rolled her over. But
into the recovery position.
Then I grabbed her and me and a couple other people took her to the cooling station. But she was okay after that. But she was completely out of it. And everybody was like, ha ha ha, that's so funny. She's drunk.
You probably should have gave her an IV.
Yeah.
See, the problem with the heat, dude, is that you can your body. It's the same thing with the cold and the same thing with the heat. Your body it's constantly trying to cool itself. And when you stop sweating, it's a problem.
When they got her in that cooling tent, they just gave her like a snow cone in a Chipotle Suiza. They give her an ice cold churro,
and then send her back to the hub.
All right, now get your skank ass back out there. Because she was up to no good anyways. We should see what she was wearing.
Okay.
I was here to help. Here to help, guys. That's all I do is help.
Get her out of here.
Bring the next one in. That poor bus driver, man. But everybody that was in that bus was minorities. It was really funny. I couldn't understand it. I'm like, why aren't we used to this heat? What is wrong with you guys? You guys were not prepared, I guess. They probably just overdrank.
Yeah, probably.
That's what happens, man. And you're having a good time out there. I love to drink some beer in the heat.
In the snake pit?
Oh, I love it. Love the snake pit, man. It's good stuff. But we make sure we don't go in the middle of the pit anymore these days.
No.
Yeah, after that last time, man, people would just start defecating on each other inside the snake pit. That's when you're like, yeah, well,
really?
It's not really for me. Yeah, man. I don't think you went in that one year with Dave and I, but yeah, we seen it happen. Guys just, it was bad, man.
It's kind of funny, man. It's like, years ago, you go to a baseball game and, you go with your parents and, or whoever, and you go to watch the game. Some people keep track on the scorecard or what have you. And then as we grew older, there was a point where you went to a baseball game and you noticed that they have like games and like maybe a little park, for kids. Mm-hmm. And it's like, all right, well, whatever. And then you get older and you start having kids and you go to a ball game. And when you get there, you notice they got rides, they've got a park, for kids to play. And it's like, whatever happened to you go to the game, you sit there and you watch the game, and you talk, whatever happened to those days or what have you.
I don't know, man. That's a very good point. I guess it's now come along with this whole era of having to give your kid just an iPad to entertain themselves. Like the entertainment has just completely drowned out, man. Like no one's entertained by baseball anymore. It seems like baseball's boring people. It's too slow. And that's one thing. But, nowadays we're not really entertained even by football, which is such a fast-paced sport. We are more entertained by the fact that how is it going to impact my fantasy scores?
Sure. Or even hockey. Hockey's a very fast-paced sport,
Right.
And people get bored.
Sure. I mean, there's games inside of games, man. There's stats inside of stats. I mean, it's just completely ripped to shreds everything that we're doing to find more interest in it. Like we're like freaking Johnny Five in Short Circuit. We need more input. I don't know if you remember that movie?
Yeah.
Oh, that was great.
They had half the cast from Police Academy in there, didn't they?
he wasn't it. It was
yeah.
But the Indian guy, man, he is hilarious, man.
Yeah, he is.
I might get in trouble for doing this, so I'm not going to do his unless you really want me to.
Yeah, I do.
His impression.
I do.
Well, it's funny because I think it's in part 2 where, for those that don't know about Short Circuit, it's this robot that is basically alive, but he's not. And in Short Circuit, they find out that the machine they can't find him, and they find like he's leaking something. And the Indian guy, he finds the fluid on the ground. He's like, "Oh no, he is leaking battery fluid. He is dying." And he licks the battery fluid, puts it in his mouth. He's like, "He is dying. Oh, he is bleeding. We must get to him now." So they're all just on a hunt to get Johnny Five back and make sure that he's A-okay. And Johnny Five, I think he dies or something in it. But fucking
I haven't seen that in a long time, dude.
Dude, in part 1, he calls another robot a snowblower.
Really?
Yeah, he's like, "Hey, laser lips, your mama was a snowblower." I mean, back then, I was like, man, that's hilarious. I'm going to start calling people that. So I'd start doing it in school. And then I realized that snowblower has a whole different term. It's like a whole different meaning once once the Scarface era came around. Or thanks to Scarface, I guess. But I got nothing else, man. Once again, we're here every Monday and Thursday for you, even if your wife and your kids aren't.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening. Remember to check out the podcast. We just did one with Sarah Slattery on Monday, and she is a very good runner, and she's a Division I head coach. That was a good one. This week, we've got Mike Glover on the podcast coming out on Monday, and that was a really good one. We talk about diet, and we get into some other stuff too, but it's really, really good. And be sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and hit the subscribe button in your podcast apps.
Do it. Do it. And don't forget to get some Badados.